Hello and welcome to your Kinstretch with the Fitness Alchemists. We're going to be going through our primary CARs today in a few different levels so you can start to understand how to build those into your practice. For props today, you're going to need something to rest your head on and ideally a yoga block or some other object that you can squeeze and put some pressure into. And then something that you can squeeze in your hand. We're going to use a tennis ball, but you could use balled up socks or a chew toy, anything that will give you that ability to gather some extra tension through a nice active grip. And other than that, we'll begin. So we're going to start with our level 1 CARs, moving through our segmental cat-cow. So you can make your way into a hands and knees position, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and then just go ahead and round your spine. Find that roundest shape that feels good, pinch and pain free. Take a few breaths here. Feel out if your body is willing to round any more. And just bookmark this shape as flexion or spinal flexion. And then let your spine go into the opposite shape. Head lifts, tail lifts, middle drops in the middle. And take a few breaths here, exploring, is this the most extended shape that feels good for my back? Beautiful. Now we're going to move back into that rounded shape, starting at the tail and trying to, as best you can, move one segment at a time through your spine, riding that wave up your spinal column until you're back in that rounded shape. Beautiful. Once you get round, and don't worry if it takes you a different amount of time than will, start over at the tailbone, lifting your tail to the sky and starting to find a little bit of extension, segment by segment, moving up through your spine until once again your chest lifts and your head lifts. Excellent, team. Keep moving through from tail to head at your own pace. And start using this to inquire, are there segments of my spine or sections of my spine that feel like they're moving all as one chunk? Are there places where it feels a little bit like a no man's land? And for now, in our level 1 round, we're just trying to build awareness of these places. We're trying to ask the questions and let our body give us answers in the form of movement and sensation. Keep breathing as you move. Can I get a little more clarity in those dim spaces with just a few more repetitions? Sometimes that's the case. And then let that go. Beautiful. All right, gang, grab that pillow or something for under your head. We're going to come into position for our side-lying hip CARs. Lying on your side, make sure your head is propped comfortably, knees bent in front of the hips, about a 90-degree angle for stability. And then top hand can place on the floor, or if you'd like, you can place it on your pelvis like Will is showing now, or just in the small of your back if that's accessible for you, to give yourself a little more awareness of if your spine is trying to rotate. Take a deep breath in, pack some air into your midsection, create a strong brace, and begin by drawing your thigh towards your chest. How close can you bring that thigh towards your chest? And then pushing the thigh bones apart. How far apart can you push your knees? Once you feel that answer, pause and start to push back. How far behind you can you send your thigh bone, keeping that knee bent? And then when you can't go any further back, how close to the ground can you drag that inner knee, staying back in the behind you space? And then bring it around and let the knees come all the way together. From there, we'll reverse and run that same pattern in the opposite direction. How far back can you slide your thigh bone? How high up can you lift that leg? Coming around the corner, how close can you pull your thigh to your chest? And then coming down again until the knees make contact. Beautiful. Keep tick-tocking back and forth. And as you move, Let each movement be a question. How high can I lift my thigh? How far back can I push without my spine changing shape? How close to the ground can I pull? Getting a good squeeze between the knees each time they come together. Breathing throughout. Keep breathing around your braced abdominals. Last 20 seconds, wherever you are, just keep tick-tocking back and forth. Starting to explore, where do I feel sensations of contraction? Where do I feel sensations of stretch? Keep moving and breathing for 3, 2, 1. Wherever you are, let that go. All right, team, you're gonna flip over to your other side. You can just roll over. I'm gonna have Will turn around so we can keep facing you and being friendly. Get yourself set up. Head comfortably resting. Take a deep breath in. Brace the midsection. Top hand either helping you create tension or building awareness by giving a little tactile on the body. And then begin. How close can you bring your thigh to your chest? How far apart can you push your thigh bones? How far back can you kick, pushing the sole of the foot or the back of the thigh behind you? And then how close to the ground can you drag that inner knee? Coming around until the knees make contact. Good. From there, reverse. How far back can you push your thigh bone? How high up can you lift that leg staying back? That's a funky corner. How close can you pull your thigh to your chest? And come back till you make contact. Great, team. Keep tick-tocking back and forth. Feeding in those questions and letting your body answer with movement. Finding your 1 mile per hour pace as best you can. Again, the newer you are for cars, the more there will be places where it seems like things just speed up and slow down without you having any choice about it. As you get more experienced and as you build strength and connectivity, you'll be able to control that pace nice and smoothly, and that's a great indication of what to look for in terms of progress in the beginning. Reinvest in your midsection brace. You're about halfway. Breathing. Keep moving and breathing for 3, 2, 1, and let that go. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to get into our GlenoHumeral CAR, our shoulder CAR. I'd like you to find a position of an upright spine that feels good. So you can sit in a chair, you could stand up, you could tall kneel. Find what feels right for your body. Whatever position you're in, take a deep breath in. Brace your midsection. Make a nice strong fist. And then begin by externally rotating that arm. How much can you twist out? And then how far across your chest can you pull that arm without the elbow bending? Next destination is how close to your ear can you squeegee that bicep without any pain or pinch? When you find that sticking point, can you start to roll your bicep away from your face? And then begin to explore the idea of reaching behind you, continuing to roll the bicep under and the thumb down. Keep rolling, coming all the way down by your hip, such that your wristwatch face would face the outside of your hip at the bottom, and then rewind. How far back can you reach until you find a sticking point? From there, unwind your rotation. Come up by the ear. Again, how close to that ear can you get pain pinch free? And then pull that pinky across your chest, winding the thumb outward. Beautiful. Keep going, team. Now starting to bring some awareness to your ribs and your spine. As you're moving your shoulder through space, can you keep your midsection quiet? You can bring your opposite hand right onto your rib cage if you'd like to build that awareness in. Can you stretch into any stretching sensations you feel? And can you encourage any muscle contraction sensations you feel pulling you into position? Beautiful. Keep breathing. Keep moving through at your own pace for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wherever you are, let that go. If you need to adjust your base position anyway, go for it. And then we'll go for the opposite direction. And well, for this one, let me have you turn sides just so we get a side view of the move as well. Deep breath in, pack that air down, connect the ribs, bring your arm out, new arm, make strong fist. And how much can you spin outward, turning your thumb away from you? How far can you pull the pinky across your chest? And then how close to your ear can you squeegee your bicep without any pain or pinch? Once you hit that sticking point, roll the bicep away from your face. Start explore the idea of reaching behind you. Keep rolling, winding your thumb under and back behind your back, as far behind you as you can reach before coming down by your hip. Pause there and rewind. How far back can you reach? Hello, might get some pops and clicks. Unwind your rotation. Coming up, and how close to the ear can you find your arm? And then pull across. Beautiful, team. Keep working this pattern. As you move, exploring where is the edge of my pain-free range where I feel strong, confident, maybe a little shaky. Sometimes our end ranges can feel unexplored. But letting any pain or sketchy feeling be a border that you stay just inside if you encounter anything like that. Beautiful, team. Last 30 seconds. Bringing your awareness to the rib cage, staying still and steady, not allowing the spine to arch or round to help that shoulder feel like it's moving more, but really giving your shoulder its time in the sun. 3, 2, 1, wherever you are, let that go. Fantastic. All right, team. So next round, we're going to move through those same movements, but we're going to turn it up to what's called a level 2 CAR. So now we're building the amount of internal tension or muscle contraction that we're using to move through that space, because more tension, aka more muscle activation, equals more information being delivered to our central nervous system. All right, gang. We're going to add a little tension to our segmental cat-cow. And watch quickly, and then we'll get into position together. So from that quadruped position, we're going to imagine that we've superglued hands, knees, toes to the floor. And then we're going to play with pulling the hands and knees towards each other. Nothing moves because we're superglued. Or pushing the hands and knees away from each other. And that's a front back away, yes? Not a side to side away. So come on into that position. Let's feel those two isometric actions together. So first, supergluing hands, knees, toes, and pulling toward, hands towards knees, knees towards hands. Feel what that lights up in your body. And then switch to pushing apart. Hands away from knees, knees away from hands. Again, nothing moves because you're superglued. Beautiful. Keep pushing the floor away, hands away from knees, knees away from hands, and begin tucking your tail under and rounding your spine, segment by segment. Now having to use a lot more strength to accomplish that same action. When you get fully round, pause, switch to pulling the hands and knees towards one another, and then start to poke your tailbone up to the sky and slowly find extension, piece by piece, moving through your spine. Take your time, move through your segments. Once your face lifts, pause, push the hands and knees away from each other, and begin tucking your tail under, rounding through, segment by segment. Keep that push away alive. Try to keep it consistent as best you can, and keep breathing. Once you get fully round, pause, pull hands and knees towards each other, and then send that tailbone to the ceiling. Slowly, segment by segment, moving through. Last time here as you come into extension, push the floor away, hands away from knees, knees away from hands, rounding through. Excellent work, team. You got this. Once you're round, pull the floor together. Hands towards knees, knees towards hands. Tailbone lifts. Work your way through those spinal segments. Noticing if this lights up different awareness in some of those zones that seemed like they were a little sleepy or a little hard to access. It may or it may not. Either one is fine. And give that a rest. Fantastic. All right, grab your headrest and one of your blocks. We're going to go back to our side-lying hip CARs, now with two different options for you to choose from for creating more internal tension. On successive retakes of this class, I'd like you to experiment with both options. So option number one is going to be a flexion bias. So we're going to place the block against the knee, bottom knee, and top hand, and you're going to crush it throughout the hip CAR. The other option to choose from is more of a hip extension bias. You can hold under your thigh, and it's like the thigh is trying to push away, but the arm is too strong, and so you get a nice tug of war that nobody wins. So for today, pick whichever one feels the best to you, and know that the next time you take this class, you can switch it up and try the other strategy to see if that gives you different information. All right, deep breath in. Create your tension strategy with the top hand and the bottom leg, and begin pulling your knee towards your chest. How close can you bring that thigh? Pushing the thigh bone apart. Pushing back. Good. Keep moving. Bring that knee down towards the floor and around to meet up with the other knee. Once the knees touch, rewind and go back the way you came. If you're crushing that block, imagine that I'm in your living room and I'm going to come by and try to steal it every so often, and you're not going to let me. Keep that tension active and see if you can use some anti-shrug action to help you out with that so that your neck is still able to be fairly relaxed. If you're holding onto your thigh and that thigh is trying to escape, keep trying to escape with the same intensity and keep holding strong, again, all the way from those anti-shrug muscles in the top shoulder. Last 20 seconds, team. Can your internal tension in the non-moving parts be as strong as possible, even as you finish up this little set here? 3, 2, 1, and relax. Yes, a little more spice. There we are. So take your time switching sides. And then whichever strategy you used on the first side, use that same one for this side.
I might show the opposite.
Will's going to show the opposite, just so we have that on record here. So now he's showing the pulling strategy versus the pushing strategy. Everybody all together, take a deep breath in. Pack that air down, brace the midsection, and begin pulling your thigh to your chest. Beautiful. Pushing the legs apart and driving that thigh bone back. Excellent. Coming all the way around until the knees touch, and then rewind. Good. Could you, if you're crushing the block, crush it any harder? If you're holding onto your leg, could that leg try to escape a little more? And could you resist with more stuff that's attached to your shoulder, your ribs, your back? Get as many muscles involved in that stillness and resistance strategy as you can find. Keep breathing around your abdominal brace. We've got 15 more seconds, team. You're doing so well. Keep that moving leg exploring its range, again at 1 mile per hour. Beautiful. You got it. Keep breathing. Keep moving for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Yes, should feel like a little more of a strength training impetus here. Okay, now we're going to go back to our GlenoHumeral CAR, the shoulder CAR, and this is where you'll want something to squeeze in your hand. So grab that tennis ball if you've got it, or balled up socks. Find, again, whatever upright spine position was right for you. Deep breath in. Now, as we go through this CAR, 2 things I want you to imagine. You're going to squeeze that tennis ball. Imagine that I'm coming by and trying to steal it. And you're going to imagine the air just got a little denser. So now it's the consistency of honey or molasses. Start externally rotating and carving across the body. From here, how close can you get to your ear? How much can you roll that bicep away from your face? How far behind you can you reach? Carving through denser air. Are you still crushing the tennis ball or other object in your hand? Could you squeeze it a little more to light up more muscles through the arm and into the shoulder? Beautiful. Keep breathing. Keep moving. As you come past the ear, can you gather external rotation, spinning that thumb out as you come across? You're halfway. Can you gather any more tension in your non-moving parts? Can you brace your midsection a little more intensely? If you're standing, can you activate your legs? Can you press your feet into the floor? Keep moving for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Okay, give yourself a little wiggle. This is very focused work for sure. And side 2, put that tennis ball in the new hand. Deep breath in. Brace the midsection. Crush that tennis ball. Wind up as much external rotation as that shoulder is going to give you, and then carve across the chest. How far can it go? Once you've answered that, come up towards your ear. How close can I get? How much can I roll that bicep away from the ear? How far behind me can I reach, feeling strong, safe, pain-free, still squeezing the tennis ball? Are you squeezing the tennis ball? Yes. Excellent. Come down by the hip and rewind. How far back can you reach? Unwind as you hit that sticking point. Are you still crushing your tennis ball? There will be spots where it drops out. Notice those spots, reinvest when you find them. Good, keep it going. The air is thick. You're pushing through a denser substance than air. Still breathing around your brace. You got it, team. Last 10 seconds. Reinvest. Crush that tennis ball. Keep moving through dense air for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. A little schwitzy. We like it. Okay. So round 3, we're going to give you some strategies to take that level 2 and turn it up a notch. So with this, we're adding in ways to isolate certain parts, clean up areas that need a little extra focus. Come back to your quadruped position for the segmental cat-cow. This time, we're going to focus on moving just the upper back and just the lower back independently. So for the first one here, We want to round your upper back. Tuck your chin, push up between the shoulder blades, keep that nice and round. Imagine you've got my hand right in between your shoulder blades. You're going to push up into it. And then just explore your cat-cow in the lower part of the spine. So you're going to tuck your tail under, rounding until you hit about your lowest ribs. And then you're going to lift your tail to the ceiling, finding an arch through your low back, keeping your upper back round. Beautiful. Keep going here, team. Mini cat-cow, sometimes call it the calf kitten. Can you isolate movement from your natural waist down to your tail and actively keep pushing your upper back up and round, pushing your shoulder blades apart? Beautiful. You got it. Last 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Give your wrists a quick shake out if they need it. And then we're going to come back to that position. Now we want to block the low back in an arch. So you're going to lift your tail feathers to the ceiling. You're going to reach your belly button to the floor. You're going to keep your belly button reaching to the floor. We're just going to move through the upper part of the spine. Deep breath in, and then start tucking your chin into your chest, rounding through your upper back, through those shoulder blades, heading towards the waist, but not letting your belly button start to lift up away from the floor. Once you find that, come back into extension. You can lift your chin, start growing your neck, moving through, finding a little extension through your upper back, shoulder blades, until you meet up with that belly button feeling. You got it, team. Tuck the chin. Round. Cattiest cat stretch through your upper back. Beautiful. And then let it go. Send your chin out. Lift up. Can you pull your collarbones through your shoulders? Can you pull your t-shirt logo through your arms? Last 10 seconds. Keep that belly button reaching for the floor. Good. Tail feathers are still lifted. And rest. Excellent work. All right. We're going to mix up our order on this last set to give you a break from being in quadruped. So we're going to go to our GlenoHumeral CARs next. And if it's workable for you, I'd like you to come into a half kneeling position. Grab your block and your tennis ball. Great. So from here, the tennis ball is going to go in the same hand as your forward knee. Your block is going to go against the inner thigh meat, wherever it feels comfortable. And then you're going to crush it with your opposite hand. So again, you want to imagine that I'm going to come by and try to steal that block, and then squeeze your tennis ball in the opposite hand. Take a deep breath in, pack that air down. You can engage a pinch of the floor, front foot towards back knee towards front foot, and then start that shoulder CAR. How far across your chest can you pull? How close to the ear can you get? How much rotation away from the ear can you find? How much reach behind you can you find? Coming all the way down to the hip. Beautiful. Air is dense. You're carving through molasses. You're crushing that block. You're pinching the floor. Get your legs involved. Get the whole body actively on tension, even the non-moving parts. You're halfway there, team. You're doing so well. For this last 20 seconds, can you make the air a little denser? Could you carve through peanut butter or Nutella? Could you crush that block any harder? Last 10 seconds, all in. Turn up that tension. Deliver the most information that you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Yes. Should feel like you want to rest at the end of that minute. All right. Setting up on the new side. Placing the block against your thigh meat. Make sure you're on train tracks here and not on a tightrope as you're setting up. And then start to engage your tension creation tools. Squeeze the floor together, front foot to back knee. Crush your block. Squeeze that tennis ball to charge up tension through your body and begin. How far across your body can you reach? How close to that ear can you get? How much twist of your bicep away from your face can you find? How far behind you can you reach? And how close in can you bring that wrist to your body? Rewind. How far back can you reach? Crush your tennis ball. Crush your block. Keep breathing. That's it. Find your own pace here. Tick-tocking back and forth. You've got 20 seconds left. Can you turn up your tension? Can you make the air a little denser? Can you crush your block and your tennis ball a little harder? Could you pinch the floor with more vim and vigor? For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to take that hip CAR and place it into quadruped. Now, if this doesn't work well for you, go back to the last version of side lying where you're crushing your block or pulling on your leg. Great option to stick with. If it's accessible to be on hands and knees, you're going to set up with your block giving you a little extra feedback on your back. So there's options here too. We can go like this. If you want to make your life even harder, you can do the shark fin version. The idea here is that if Will starts to move and his spine moves too, go ahead and do it. Boom, that block falls off. Yeah. So it'll help us know if we're staying flat on. All right. Will's going to demo the most fun version here. So deep breath in. Yep. Get that block where you want it. Good. Brace your midsection and bring that right knee towards your chest. And then push it out to the side, feeling into that block. Good. Drive your heel up to the ceiling. Come across and try to get contact between your inner thighs. Woohoo! Good. If the block falls off, just put it back. Reverse directions. Drive up to the ceiling. Push that leg out to the side. Knee towards the chest. And bring it in to make contact. You got it, team. Keep tick-tocking back and forth. Could you push the ground away any harder? Angsty teenager. Could you carve through dense air with your leg now? Good. And can you reinvest just for this last 15 seconds? Tighten up anything that's wanting to loosen up. Draw strength up from the floor. Keep that block steady. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Give yourself a little rest before we go on to the other side. The sweat is real. We did not have anyone come in and spritz that. We're still in level 2 land. There is a level 3 in which we actually add external loading to our CARs. So we'll talk about that in a future video to you. But just keep in mind that CARs can be an awareness builder or a strength training tool. We've got a lot of ways that we can use them. All right, gang, come on back for that other leg. We're going to do the left leg. Come back to your quadruped, or if you're in side lying, set up on the new side. Get your props in place. Deep breath in. Brace midsection and start pulling your left knee towards your chest. Push that leg out to the side. Drive your heel to the ceiling. Coming across, and then get contact between the inner thighs, maybe the knees if you can, and then rewind. Beautiful. We got this, team. You're on the clock, carving through that nice dense air, keeping your midsection strong, pushing into the ground, spreading the shoulder blades. What's the largest circle you can make with that thigh bone, keeping your block evenly balanced? Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wherever you are, finish up, come on down. Beautiful. All right, team, have fun practicing your CARs. These are meant to bring extra awareness and insight in your body. So as you find those nuggets of sensation or questions, we would love to hear those from you and keep the conversation moving. Thanks, team.